It was a tragic accident that took the life of a 4-year-old girl. Now family and friends have a memorial to remember Eyland Castillo 1 year after her death. Plus, a shocking crime, a teenager accused of beating her mother with a hammer. And it was a 500 million mile journey to Mars. Tonight, details on what NASA hopes to find on the red planet.
This is Channel 8 Eyewitness News, Weekend Edition, in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Colleen McCarty. Chris and Colleen are off tonight. Memorial Day is a busy travel weekend and often one of the deadliest for drivers. It's a reality one Las Vegas family has lived with for a year now. Reporter Travell Eiland talked to that family today about how they're using this anniversary to remind drivers to take care on the road. Travell?
Well, Colleen, Yolanda Shirley was walking with her son and pushing her daughter in a stroller last year when a speeding car slammed into the family. 4-year-old Eyland Castillo was killed. Tonight, 1 year later, the family is reliving that crash and using the horrible accident as a warning to drivers to slow down and save lives. They built a memorial not to remember, but to honor 4-year-old Eyland Castillo.
I'm out here to show that she's gone, but she's not forgotten. That's my daughter. I love her. I miss her. You know, that's a part of me. Part of my heart gone.
Last year, Yolanda Shirley and her daughter Zayana and her son Zion were walking on this street near Lake Mead and Civic Center when a speeding car crashed into them. Her son Zion had 2 broken legs, and the pain from Yolanda's wounds magnified because the crash took the life of her little girl.
It's a year. My baby girl been gone.
Police say 18-year-old Christian Cortez was the driver. He initially fled the scene, but hours later turned himself in. This Memorial Day weekend, they remember a life taken too soon and pray for the young man who changed their lives forever.
Hopefully he knows what he done was wrong, and we pray that he may get through his situation as well.
It's a senseless death caused by a careless driver. It's something the family has a hard time understanding. Zayana is now part of the growing statistic law enforcement officials are trying to cut down. That's why Metro Patrol cars are out cracking down on Memorial Day drivers who are breaking the rules of the road.
We're looking for people causing violations out there. We're looking for drunk drivers, failure to maintain lane, running red lights, speeding.
Although drinking wasn't a factor in this tragic accident, hearing how many people die on Valley roads is overwhelming, and Yolanda Shirley hopes that speaking out about her loss will save another family from dealing with the pain she's forced to live with every day. Now, the man who hit and killed Zayana was sentenced to 5 to 10 years in jail, and Metro police officers want to remind people they'll be out again tonight looking for drivers breaking the rules of the road. And they say if you're caught, that they won't let you off lightly. Colleen?
Thanks, Travell. This weekend is the unofficial start to summer, and for many, it means a time to celebrate with family and friends. But with prices on everything, from gas to food on the rise, some people are having to cut back on their annual parties. Many shoppers we spoke to today say they're looking for alternatives to pricey brand names.
Yeah, like she wanted to get 2 bags, said 1 bag's good. We'll use white bread if we have to.
You have to stop and think before you buy things, and if something's a luxury, maybe you're going to cut out on it.
This year, more people are buying in bulk, which can save you some cash. Budget shoppers say that last year they drove around the valley looking for bargains. But with gas prices nearing $4 a gallon, they're now looking for stores that offer one-stop shopping. And we could soon set a new record with those soaring gas prices. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular is now $3.93. Here in Las Vegas, expect to pay about $3.85 a gallon to fill up and travel up north to Reno and get ready to shell out $3.94 per gallon. Commercial real estate may be another casualty of our country's sluggish economy. A recent report shows the number of shopping centers with vacancies jumped nearly 2 percentage points in just 1 quarter. The hardest hit segment are the small retail operators, because landlords are having to raise rents to cover the cost of empty spaces. Real estate experts are blaming the decline on the nation's economic woes. Experts say it's not clear when things will turn around. However, they hope the economy will bounce back when the new resorts on the Strip open in 2010. A 14-year-old girl is facing some serious charges tonight, accused of hitting her mother in the head with a hammer. It happened this morning in San Diego. Authorities say the 56-year-old woman is not expected to survive the attack. Police say other family members were sleeping when they heard a loud scream. That's when they found the woman in the kitchen with serious head injuries. Police are now trying to figure out the motive for the attack. Severe weather is tearing through the nation's midsection today. An apparent tornado killed a 2-year-old and critically injured the child's sibling outside of St. Paul, Minnesota. The fast-moving storm leveled about 4 dozen homes. At least 20 people are still unaccounted for in the small town. And that same storm system is being blamed for at least 7 deaths in Iowa. State officials say they were killed when a tornado ripped through a small town in the northeastern part of the state. At least 50 others were hurt. Officials are keeping a close eye on the weather. Forecasters are predicting more strong storms in that area tonight. What a day for NASA scientists. After some tense moments, the Phoenix spacecraft landed softly on the Martian surface, more than 400 million miles away from Earth. Manuel Gallegos has a look at this remarkable feat.
Touchdown signal detected.
Ecstatic scientists erupted with joy as the Phoenix landed safely on Mars.
The Phoenix has landed. Welcome to the northern plains of Mars.
Already the spacecraft is sending back remarkable images, the first time we've ever seen pictures taken from the Arctic region's surface. After a 10-month, 422 million mile journey, the spacecraft landed following what NASA called the 7 minutes of terror. The 3-legged Phoenix lander blasted through the Mars atmosphere at nearly 13,000 miles per hour. In just 7 minutes, it had to slam on its brakes, using atmospheric pressure, parachutes, heat shields, and rockets to decelerate to a 5-mile-per-hour touchdown.
They couldn't have done a better job. Did you see that thing zoom down and just touch?
The $420 million mission will try to determine if the so-called red planet is inhabitable. Scientists already know Mars was once warm and wet. Phoenix will use its 8-foot-long robotic arm to dig trenches to look for organic material beneath the planet's icy surface.
For the first time, humans will be touching water on another planet. Absolutely exciting.
Landing on Mars is tough. Half of the world's missions to the red planet have failed, and it's been more than 3 decades since NASA had a successful soft landing on Mars. Unlike the mobile twin rovers, which are still performing, the Phoenix will stay put on the Arctic surface and will spend the next 90 days searching to see if the raw ingredients for life are preserved in the ice. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Oh, that's just so cool. With the success of Phoenix, the next step is to send a 2,000-pound roving space lab to Mars next year to further examine its geological history. A plane loaded with tons of cargo, including mail, slams into the ground. But amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. We'll show you more of this amazing video. Plus, this Memorial Day, we are honoring our nation's fallen troops. We'll take you to Arlington National Cemetery for one family's tearful tradition. And later in sports, Michael Berk will let us know if the home court advantage once again played a role in tonight's Lakers-Spurs game. An elderly man from Henderson was killed this weekend in a car crash in northern Nevada. The Nevada Highway Patrol says 80-year-old Donald Smith was killed when the car he was in rolled off of US 95 about 22 miles north of Yerington. Investigators say Smith lost control of his car when it left the roadway. They say he was the only one in the vehicle and he was wearing a seatbelt. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused a huge cargo plane to crash and break apart. The Boeing 747 was taking off from the Brussels airport when something went wrong, causing the plane to slam back into the ground. 4 of the 5 crew members on board were only slightly hurt. The plane is owned by a U.S.-based cargo carrier. In a possible preview of this fall's general presidential election, Senators Barack Obama and John McCain traded barbs over Obama's comments on veterans affairs. And Hillary Clinton is also working to put to rest controversy over remarks she made referencing Robert Kennedy's assassination. John Lawrence has more.
Barack Obama delivered the commencement address Sunday at Connecticut's Wesleyan University, subbing for Senator Edward Kennedy, who is battling brain cancer.
He called me up a few days ago, and I said that I'd be happy to be a stand-in, even though there was no way that I could fill his shoes.
Obama and presumptive Republican nominee John McCain are swapping barbs over veterans' benefits. Obama slamming McCain Saturday for not supporting an expansion of the GI Bill.
I don't understand why John McCain would side with George Bush and oppose our plan to make college more affordable for our veterans.
McCain said in a statement Obama has, quote, zero understanding of veterans' affairs. Finally, in an op-ed column in the New York Daily News, Hillary Clinton said remarks she made referencing the assassination of Robert Kennedy were taken out of context. The remarks referred to how late in the primary season her husband and Kennedy took their campaigns. But some Obama supporters took offense, saying she was inferring Obama could be assassinated. Clinton also said she's not dropping out of the race for the Democratic nomination despite long odds. I'm John Lawrence, reporting from Atlanta.
Puerto Rico is set to hold primaries on June 1st. However, because it's not a state, voters there are prohibited by the Constitution from voting in the general election. People around the country are paying tribute to soldiers who've paid the ultimate price. Coming up, we'll show you how one father is keeping a promise to his son killed on the front lines in Iraq. And an out-of-control car makes a splash in a backyard pool. We'll explain how all this happened next.
Now, Channel 8 Eyewitness News Weekend Edition with Colleen May and Chris Saldaña. The first local news in HD.
A massive wildfire in the Santa Cruz Mountains is about 50% contained. Firefighters are getting a jump on the fast-moving fire because of cooler weather and calmer winds. More than 3,800 acres of land have been burned and at least 20 homes destroyed since the fire started Thursday. Officials expect it to be fully contained by early next week. Friends and family of a man who was shot and killed last weekend in an apparent gang-related shooting gathered today to remember him and to raise money for his family. Police say 25-year-old Jose Gilberto Guerrero died after being shot in a drive-by shooting last Saturday night near Decatur and Spring Mountain. 2 others were wounded. Police say the suspects were last seen in a black Honda Accord with tinted windows and a white bumper. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 385-5555. And here's something you don't see every day, an SUV in a swimming pool. This happened in Peoria, Arizona over the weekend. The driver lost control of the truck and drove through bushes into a backyard pool. The vehicle was half submerged in the pool. Fortunately, no one was in it at the time. The driver of the SUV suffered minor injuries in the crash. Arlington National Cemetery is a place of honor for the nation's fallen military. And on Memorial Day weekend every year, flags are placed at each grave, making sure our fallen heroes are not forgotten. Photojournalist Bethany Swain shows us one family's ritual of remembrance.
My son was there for the first push into Fallujah in '04. They made that city safe to vote. He saw 4 of his comrades die on the way in, and that made him march on even stronger. He was stationed at Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, and we brought some sand from there this time for him. Each time we come, we bring something a little different. I can't leave this place without playing him my guitar. Promised him that I would continue to play my guitar, and so I have to bring it here and sing to him and show him that I haven't stopped. My son was very inspirational. This is home away from home for me. In 2 years' time, I've been here 18 times. And we're from Rossford, Ohio. I wish you were here. But I don't care what it costs. If I gotta walk here, I'm coming here. To see all these flags today, year after year, it's just heartwarming. Running over the same old ground. God love the Marine Corps. If it weren't for these people, I don't know where we'd be. Wish you were here.
More than 300,000 people are buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Palm Mortuaries is holding its 43rd annual Memorial Day service tomorrow. There will be tributes from state and federal elected officials. Services will start at 9 o'clock at the downtown location, which is on Main Street near Four-Master. Then at 11 o'clock, a memorial service will take place at the Henderson location on Boulder Highway near Major. The holiday weekend started off as a washout, but the sun came out. Can we expect a warm Memorial Day? Ted Florendo has our neighborhood weather forecast next.
Now, Channel 8 Neighborhood Weather with Ted Florendo.
Good evening, everyone. What a great day today. We had clouds, yeah. The precipitation really started to end, but take a look at the view here. We've got a lot of cloud cover earlier today. It cleared up a little bit. We had some breaks in the clouds, but really the precipitation really ended early this morning. So looks like we are in the clear for any type of rain. Wish we could get more, just not going to get it. I think we're over and done with. Here are the highs we had today, low 70s to mid 70s. We told you today would be in the mid 70s, and we were smack dab right. Sarah and Ellis at 76 degrees, 71 for Fort Apache and Ann, 70 for Anthem, and 73 for Water Street. Valley View came in at 72 degrees. Charleston and Ellis at 74. This time of the year, we should be around the low 90s, so this feels great outside. 70 for Primm, 76 at the lake. Cooler again in Lincoln County, the 60s to even 50s. Had to double check my calendar because the temperatures are really on the cool side. All right, let's show you the top temperature we got at McCarran today, where actually our numbers really hit into the 70s, and that is pretty much it. Let's take a look. Our average high, like we said, is 91 degrees for this time of the year. 72 is what we hit today. 55 degrees is what we bottomed out. So we had even a cool night overnight. Temperatures are now starting to be on the rise. So by the latter part of the week, yeah, we'll be right back into the 90s. So here's how it looked yesterday. The rainy facts. Saturday, we picked up over 1/10 of an inch out at Summerlin. Anthem and Seven Hills, they picked up about 2/100 of an inch. The last time we had 2 consecutive days, because remember, on Friday and Saturday it rained. The last time we had 2 consecutive days of rainfall was, get this, November 30th and December 1st, 2007. That's how dry it's been lately. A lot of thunderstorms, severe weather in the nation's midsection that will continue to push up towards the east. So here's your Memorial Day forecast set for tomorrow, okay? We will be mild here, unsettled in the Pacific Northwest. Still severe weather, I think, around the Great Lakes region, Illinois included in that. Warm along the eastern seaboard there with temperatures back into the 80s to even 90s. Here's our water vapor satellite. This is the low right here spinning. It will eventually crawl on shore and head out to the east of us. In that time frame, however, it's still going to stay on the cool side. When that pushes out, that's when we get our temperatures right back into the low 90s. So in fact, here's a look at our futurecast. Tomorrow, we're still looking good. We're still going to be in the 70s throughout many valley neighborhoods. 73 Boulder City, Laughlin 81, Kingman 67 degrees, 58 degrees tonight, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow at 75 degrees, fewer clouds for tomorrow with winds only about 5 to 10. Our average 91 degrees. Speaking of 90s, that's what we're going to hit. That's not going to be until the latter part of next week, maybe midweek. Breezes on Thursday, 93, 94 by Saturday and Sunday. That's your neighborhood forecast.
We got the salute from Ted. I think that's a good thing.
So the Indianapolis 500 today?
It's in the books. Memorial Day weekend, it has to be.
Excellent, excellent.
Good race, too. Coming up next in sports, what is it about Phil Mickelson that makes people want to sing and dance or just simply jump into a dirty pond? Lefty gets it right at Colonial. And home court advantage is a big advantage in the West Finals. Lakers would like to forget the Alamo on this night. Channel 8 Eyewitness News, back after this.
Now, Channel 8 Eyewitness Sports with Michael Berk.
The Western Conference Finals is starting to look a whole lot like the Western Conference semifinals. Home court matters. Spurs had it tonight, Lakers did not, and it showed. 1 point Spurs lead, second quarter. The Manu Ginobili show is underway. Through the Laker defense for a circus shot and one. Then Ginobili with Sasha Vujicic in his jersey hits an impossible 3 with the shot clock expiring. 49-37 San Antonio. Tim Duncan nice up and under, part of a 12-4 third quarter run. Spurs back in this series with a 19-point win in Game 3.
I think it's the case tonight. They played solid defense, but we missed a lot of easy ones. A lot of shots that we normally make inside the paint. And it comes with the territory.
You know, I thought that we got, just got out of rhythm. Teams do that, just didn't get ourselves in rhythm in the last, 8 minutes of the second quarter. Obviously the second half didn't go great for us either.
No, it didn't. Third period went very well for the Wranglers. They entered the third period scoreless with Cincinnati. And they come away with a 1-0 victory, evening that best-of-7 Kelly Cup Finals at 1 game apiece. Games 3, 4, and 5 at the Orleans Arena, starting with Game 3 Thursday at 7 p.m. At the Indianapolis 500, it's no different than it is on the NASCAR circuit. When you can win it, you go for it. And being a good teammate is for another day. 92nd running of the Indy 500. Back now under one open-wheel division. Midway through the race, Tony Kanaan in the lead, given a run by teammate Marco Andretti. But Andretti left Tony with no room to work on turn 3. He was into the wall and then got blasted by Sarah Fisher. Both were okay. Danica Patrick, running in the top 10, gets rammed on pit road by Ryan Briscoe. Loss of rear suspension, sidelined her car, but she wasn't ready to stop. She had to be pulled away from Briscoe's crew. That opened the door for Scott Dixon, who led 115 of the 200 laps for his first Indy 500 victory. Stock cars under the lights in North Carolina for the Coca-Cola 600. Tony Stewart's loss was Casey Kane's gain. Stewart had more than a 5-second lead at the checkered flag, was in his sight until he blew a tire and fell back into 18th place. Kane wins for the second straight week. Stewart stormed away from the track, kicking anything in sight. The 51's 4-game Memorial Day weekend homestand with Fresno continued this afternoon. Teams have split the first 2 meetings at Cashman Field. They'll have one more tomorrow. Scoreless first inning, Sergio Garcia to the hot corner and under the glove of Julio Cordito. That allows 2 51 runs to score. 2-0 game. Andy LaRoche then in a 3-1. 51's lead makes it 4-1. Drops this one into right field. He was out at second, but it didn't matter. 51's a 9-3 winner. They're now 2 games above 500. Terry Tippy played for Las Vegas last night. Today he was in Dodger blue. Got a base hit in the 10th. The hero was Andre Ethier in the 10th. 3-3 game. Andre buries a base hit into the right field corner. Juan Pierre could have rounded the bases twice. He scores the winning run from second. Dodgers salvage the final game with the Cardinals, 4-3 the final. They'll be in Chicago tomorrow afternoon. Yankees looking to run the winning streak to a season-high 5 games. They trailed Seattle 5-2 in the 8th inning. J.J. Poots looking for the 2-inning save, but he couldn't help himself. Makes a nice stop, but an awful throw. Bobby Abreu scores to make it a 5-4 game. 5-5 in the 8th. Jose Molina pops this one into the alley in right center field. Ichiro could not track it down. Winning run across. Yankees have won 5 in a row, 6-5, today's final. The 72nd and final hole of the PGA Tour's Crowne Plaza Invitational was vintage Phil Mickelson. The lefty makes you scratch your head when he tempts fate with risky play. Then he pulls off the impossible, and again, you're left scratching your head. If it's possible for one hole of golf to completely and perfectly summarize a man's career, it happened today at Colonial in Texas. Final round, lefty and Rod Pampling at 13 under, coming into 18. Tim Clark in the clubhouse also at 13 under. Mickelson off the tee. Just as he did with the lead at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago, he is way left on to another fairway. There's the frustrating part of Phil. Here's the brilliant part. Saves himself, big time. Hoping for just an up and down to save par, he drops this shot 8 feet from the pin. Not exactly a gimme, but for the win, Mickelson, ice in his veins, and he wins for the second time at Colonial, a one-shot victory over the aforementioned Pampling and Clark. Do you believe that guy?
That is the most amazing sports story of the day by far.
Well, every weekend he's good for something like that. Usually it ends in a meltdown, but he saved himself today. Big time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
You bet.
That's it for Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11. Have a great week.
Good night.